Hey, Ivan, thank you for coming in today. And you're doing some really interesting work. So we're going to discuss that and what led you to where you are today and sort of your picture of where things are going into the future. So again, please, really, we appreciate you coming in, sharing your insights with our audience.
Of course, thank you very much, Stephen. I'm super excited to be able to join and to speak to you with today.
So one of the things I want to mine in terms of your background or sort of drill into find out more is, what are three pivotal moments or maybe two or maybe four in your life that led you to where you are today? Starting from an early age, were you interested in science or the arts or social impact, or did you have mentors? Like, give me that journey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's an amazing question. I think it's the first time that someone made that question to me. Uh, Look, I think there are two big moments. One was, so I've been a serial entrepreneur for the last 20 years. I'm 45. I'm turning to 45 next Saturday. And I've been building around 7 startups. And in the previous one, it was called Movie, and we used to do technology for social networks. And the truth is that the company was going amazing. So we were growing every Q, we were multiplying per 2 the revenue. So we were growing a lot. And the point was that one of our biggest customer was an airline, a Spanish airline. And one Friday I was cleaning up my inbox. I was like, cleaning a little bit, and I received a phone call, and it was from one of our biggest customers, this airline, and they told me that they were closing the airline was closed suddenly. It was being shut down, and that meant for us that we had to fire almost 50% of the employees. At that moment, we were around 30 people. That was a big shock, and the first shift in my life was like, okay, 5 minutes earlier, I was a successful entrepreneur. 5 minutes later, it was a mess. So I was failing, right? But the point was, I was debating about this, and then I received another phone call, and it was my wife. And it was my wife to inform me that she was pregnant and we were going to be parents. And that was like, rebooting my brain and putting another operating system. Like it was like, okay, I was successful. Now I'm failing, and now I'm going to be responsible of a new life coming into this world. So, okay, of course, in the following months, I had to put everything in order in that company. But I started thinking about, okay, what's the legacy that I'm going to leave into this world? And how I'm going to leave this world better for the person that is coming, right? So yeah, I don't know, probably you are father, and you can imagine, and you probably had the same thoughts, right? I started with a social movement some months later called Social Coin. And it was very simple. So the main hypothesis was that everyone is good by default, and that kindness is a contagious thing. So I created a physical token, a coin, a currency that people were spreading while helping each other. And it has a barcode. The mechanics was paid forward economy. So if I help you, if I invite you to a coffee, I give you the coffee and then the coin. So you can scan it and explain that I gave you a coffee, and then you can pay it forward. You can help another person. I was working on this project for 2 years in collaboration with UC Berkeley and also NYU. And after the 2 years, there came 2 main conclusions. One is that people is not good generally. So there's an extrinsic, in 97% of the cases, there's an extrinsic motivation to help others. Meaning that we need rewards. So people are expecting a reward. It can be soft or hard. Soft can be a smile or a thanks, and hard, it can be money. So paying for helping. And the other one is that people act when they have visibility about the needs around them. And this is the initial moment of Citibeats. Okay, so in order to help others and to act. So it's not counting a like, you know, this sofa activism is like waking up, helping someone. We really need to have a call to action. We really need to understand what are the needs, so we decide to act. And yeah, we applied into the European Commission. They gave us a grant of €1 million in order to develop a technology capable to identify needs in real time in society. And after 1 year, Citibeats was born. And here we are with more than 50 projects worldwide.
So tell me more about Citibeats, like, you know, the technology and how it works, the process of how people get engaged with it, sort of like your social impact model, your business model. You know, tell us more in more detail.
Sure. Yeah. Citibeats is a social risk understanding platform. We are helping public and private sectors to process big amounts of data and structured text, basically, so they can understand faster and better people's needs, I would say in real time, through offering them insights about which are the social trends and the social shifts that are impacting in the civic life, right? We started beginning in 2018. We have deployed projects from Japan to Latin America, so worldwide, more than 50 projects worldwide. We work with private companies, mainly banks, insurance companies, and also public sector, like, for example, national governments, multilateral organizations, like, for example, World Health Organization or Inter-American Development Bank, United Nations, who are using our technology in different fields, like, for example, migrations, or right now with World Health Organization, we are using the technology in order to identify misinformation processes worldwide. So, you know, the virus gets spread by the virus, but one of the biggest threats is that people is not well informed about which are the hygiene mechanics or that they can use or they have to use in order to stop this virus. So we are identifying which are the misinformation processes worldwide in every country, and based on this, World Health Organization can work with local countries in order to build the narratives so they can help better the society. Another example is with the Inter-American Development Bank and migration. So we are using Citibeats to identify segments of population that are traveling from Venezuela, for example, to Mexico, and we can somehow identify which is the quantity of hate speech towards migrant communities. So we can identify if there is going to be violence when they arrive, or which are the needs of these communities where they land, right? Like, for example, is there any type of infrastructure that is missing in that neighborhood that can help them integrating better into the society? So Inter-American Development Bank is using our technology in order to understand which are those needs and also identify investment opportunities. As I was telling you, so the technology behind is natural language processing and machine learning. We are connected into more than 100,000 public data sources. It's always unstructured data, like, for example, blogs, forums, news, social networks. Also, we can work with any unstructured data that is proprietary from the customer or the partner, like, for example, phone call transcriptions of the telephone number that the citizens can call in order to ask for help into the cities. And out of this, we extract insights in real time, so our customers can react faster and better.
I see. So are some of your services provided, like, let's say for you, in agencies pro bono, or you know, what is there some kind of a sustainability model?
Yeah, we are a for-profit. our business model is a software as a software as a service. So our customers normally pay for a license, and but I would say that our mission is to work with them so they can have better processes of information. So the processes of information are wider, are faster, doesn't have bias. That's why what we are developing is what we call an ethical AI, meaning that we identify bias in any data source, and we can normalize the model, and we can collect 100 times more data than a survey at a fraction of the time and the cost. And I will also add about the impact concept. So we came out of a social movement, right? And what we see is that, or how we measure ourselves is on how many millions are we affecting in terms of decision making from governments and private sector. So our objective is to affect more than $2 billion in the next 5 years of decision impacting civil society.
I see. And then, you were involved with the Innovation Factory. How did that happen?
Well, we were approached by ITU some months ago, and they were, yeah, the fact is that 2 years ago, we were meeting face to face. So we were participating in some pitch competition. Yeah, some months ago, they reached to us. They asked us to participate in this process, and yeah, we were passing through different pitch sessions, and yeah, we reached to the final. Yeah, and right now we are becoming like a member of ITU in order to help. One of our goals is to transform the standards for social risk understanding, and to build standards about social risk understanding. And thanks to ITU, we really believe that we can participate in this movement and in these thought leadership groups in order to make it happen.
Right. So you've had quite a bit of success. I mean, what would be, how do you see yourself progressing into the next maybe 3 years? What would Citibeats look like?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, and also very complex, because everything is changing so fast, right, in the last days. We believe that, with all these changes in the establishment or in the all the owners of the data worldwide, and the decisions that they are taking lately, we really believe that we can become like, let's say, a quality seal. So any of these big data players can use Citibeats in order to aggregate and anonymize their data, so it can be shared for the benefit of the society. So this is one of the angles, right? And for this, like in the short term, we will be opening an office in United States and another one in Latin America during this year. We are closing a funding round, and we really believe that we can bring an extra layer of quality to these information processes for these big organizations that are impacting in people's life everywhere.
I see. So I'm sort of curious then about your own personal journey. Do you consider yourself technical or more business, or some combination of the two? Or were you interested in the humanities when you were in school, when you were young, or the arts like poetry and music, or did you like mathematics? I mean, what was that kind of a professional journey, your interest journey? How did that proceed when you were young to where you are now?
Wow, the truth is that I've been always in the technical field. So even though my background is in business, I've been always surrounded of numbers, and since I built my first company when I was 24 years old, it was about technology. So I've been always working in the business side of the technology. So I would say I'm a mix. I can code a little bit. I can understand architectures of technology, and I can understand our technology pretty well, even though I have an outstanding CTO who leads that part. And I'm more in the business side. So I think that my superpower is I would say my superpower is building things from 0 to 1. You know, there are people that is very good making grow from 1 to 99, and from 99 there are another profiles, right? So I'm very good on from 0 to 1, envisioning and making things happen, and I'm very comfortable working with technology. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. So so you're really a technical business serial entrepreneur. I mean, this is another venture. What do you hope to do with this venture then? At some point you want to grow to a certain size and then it gets acquired, or, you know, what's that end point for you? And then you say, you know what, I'm going to go and move on to another venture, or are you going to keep growing this one? I mean, what's your plan?
The truth is that, we are speaking with a lot of investors, and that's a very common question, right? So, okay, what's the exit strategy? And very honestly, I don't really know. So, of course, there are a lot of possibilities to be acquired by one of our customers, also to be acquired by. So we are working with Facebook right now. So we could be acquired by one of these big giants. So Citibeats can become like a piece of technology of these big data owners. But my objective and the mission of this organization is not making money, even though we have to be sustainable and we want to grow as fast as possible. But I would say that what we want is to become a standard. So we really believe that there are a lot of decisions taken. Just to put an example, 70% of the data, of the public data in Latin America is written by men. Can you imagine how many decisions has been taken without taking that into account, with this bias embedded into the decision, right? So we really believe that there are a lot of public decisions, public and private decisions that are impacting in society, are not very well informed. So we really believe that we can become that layer of quality that can help informing better all these decisions that are impacting in people's lives. So that's my goal, more than making millions or, and I believe that right now that we have the opportunity to work with these big organizations that are building these big projects that are impacting also in people's lives, we are in the track, right? So I would say I don't have clarity on the exit strategy. I'm going to work with this vision and in this dream in order to make it bigger, and then we will see which opportunities come.
So you're distributed with different projects around the world. Let's say there's are there regions of the world where you don't have the ability to tap into all of their news sources, the social media right away, and then you have to do some work prior to the platform being useful? Or are you consuming so much data from around the world that no matter where you are, it can be useful?
Yeah. Look, the technology of Citibeats has been built based on that we have to understand people's needs, right? So normally the problems understanding people are types of voices or types of data and languages. So these two issues we have covered. So our technology works in any language and with any text data source. So you can imagine voice can be written, an image can be described, so everything can be transformed into text. And we have projects in Swahili, we have projects in Japanese, we have projects in Sheng, which is a dialect of Swahili. So we are also connected to more than 100,000 data sources worldwide. And we can connect through our API any data source immediately, right? So I would say that that's one of our superpowers. So we can build a project in 24 hours in any place of the world. And we have some examples, right? So for example, at the beginning of the COVID in Latin America, we built a public platform called Civiclytics that is monitoring all the data across Latin America, so 22 countries, public data, and is identifying and structuring all the categories of concerns of the citizens of the region in real time. And all this data can be downloaded by anyone, by a student, a company, a startup, a government, can be downloaded from the public platform in order to build solutions and services about the main concerns that every country is having right now.
So who financed that project to have all of this available in Latin America?
Yeah, in this case, our partner is Inter-American Development Bank. So they are investing in order to provide this anonymized and aggregated and let's say actionable data to the society. So they are providing the funds.
That's quite a service. Have you found that other regions, like any areas of Europe where the European Commission is willing to finance this kind of platform?
The truth is that no, we didn't succeed with Spain and with Europe. We have a very similar project in Japan, which has been funded by Entity Data, which is another of our main partners in the region. But yeah, we didn't succeed right now.
Yeah, it's so useful what you're doing. So, it's quite remarkable what you've been building in your life. So do you have some sort of recommendations? You're a serial entrepreneur. What makes you successful? What do you think makes any sort of startup successful? What are the 5 key elements that you can think of that, if I see that, or if I see the idea on some core people that I'm working with, I believe it has a really good chance. What are the attributes that make for startup success?
Well, I have one ingredient that it's key for me, and then there are many others. But I would say that the most important for me is purpose. So purpose give you resilience, give you the ability to adapt, flexibility. Give you let's say a higher objective than money or other let's say easy to stop doing things. So I would say purpose is number one, and then I would say for me the second most important thing is being surrounded by very talented people. So team, finding co-founders, finding people who has a lot of strengths related to your weaknesses as a CEO or as a leader. Not trying to be like, you don't need to be excellent in everything. And any person can be excellent in everything. So if you want to build something really unique, you need to reinforce your weaknesses with the strengths of more people. And then, yeah, something that is super obvious, and probably everyone will have read this in business books, but before funding, you have to sell. So it's very important. It's very important proving the traction before going for fundraising. If not, it becomes like a crazy. So being an entrepreneur, it's like going towards the money in spite of proving value, right? So I think traction proves value, and that's key. Then yeah, another thing that has been working very well for us, and I don't know if it applies to any type of business, is going global from scratch. So for me, it doesn't make any sense to make business in your country. Is easier to start working globally from scratch. And yeah, I think these are quite valuable for.
Those are very good tips for the audience. Now, this is the last question. What wisdom do you want to leave to the global audience?
Wow, what wisdom? Yeah, I would keep with the purpose. So yeah, it's so we are entrepreneurs, and I think that what makes a company different is to have a purpose, right? You can call it impact, you can call it social endeavor, But I think it's okay. Everything starts with an entrepreneur, with a person that has an idea and have a passion and have a purpose, and then starts building bricks in order to make that happen, right? And to make it a reality. I think that's the key for anything we do in life. And being an entrepreneur is super tough. It's not sexy at all. It's a question of persistence, resilience, effort. You know, so I think it has to make sense and it has to enrich you as a person. And that's the only way for success in my case.
Interesting. So really, ultimately, having this purpose or passion towards something will give you the grit. You know, there's this idea of grit, which you call resilience, that makes you keep going, keep going
Make you
forward.
stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because startups
Totally.
have a lot of volatility, right? Where things are going up.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster. So it seems you see yourself in the news, and they say that you are super successful, but you are feeling that that you are a fraud, right? And the other day you had an amazing meeting, and you are in the clouds, and you're losing a customer afterwards. So this is everything. All this story should have like a purpose and should bring something better for society. And that makes waking up every day and giving sense to what you do.
Well, Ivan, those are some really great tips and recommendations for the audience. It's kind of like life's sort of key rules. And thank you for coming in and sharing the insights with our audience.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.